Brock Purdy's job as the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers right now is in danger of being lost. Because if he can't play Sunday, and it's Sam Darnold coming on in and playing for him, there's no guarantee that Purdy starts another game for the 49ers, because there's no guarantee that Darnold, if he makes that start on Sunday, doesn't make every other start going forward. And the reason why I can say that is because I'm going to give you two facts about the 49ers quarterback position that is true of only San Francisco and no one else in the league. Here are the two facts. Number one, it is very easy to have success as a 49ers starting quarterback. That's fact number one. Fact number two, Kyle Shanahan rides the hot hand. And when you add those two factors together, easy to have success along with riding the hot hand by the head coach, that equals very little to none loyalty when it comes to your starting quarterback. Again, the 49ers starting quarterback position is different than any of the other 31 positions in the NFL. If your starter is out for a game, there's no doubt about who is starting when he comes back and healthy. There's no question, for the most part, about who the starter is, about who the guy is at the most important position in sports. But why the 49ers are different is because of the two facts I just said. We have seen multiple quarterbacks have a lot of success in the 49ers system, and we've seen Kyle Shanahan change who he loves, change who he believes in year after year, sometimes week by week. And so you can't sit here and tell me that there's absolutely no chance if Sam Darnold plays on Sunday that he won't start again. That it's Brock Purdy's job as soon as Brock Purdy clears the concussion protocol. You can't say that because that's not how Kyle Shanahan has acted, and that's not how this 49ers quarterback position has gone. Like, look at how Brock Purdy came into success, and look how he came into the starting job in the first place. Right? He came in last year because Trey Lance got hurt and Jimmy G got hurt. Played well to his credit, right? Well, got action because of the two injuries there. And going into this season, where it is Super Bowl or bust for the 49ers, and they are so close to knock on the door to get through, to finally break through and get that elusive Lombardi trophy that they've been coming close to getting, right, the last few years, but have not been able to land just yet. Going into this pivotal season, Kyle Shanahan decides to go with the guy in Brock Purdy, who had, up to this point, 8 career starts to his name. And he chose to have Brock Purdy be a starting quarterback, despite the fact that on the roster, he had a quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo, who he's gone to a Super Bowl with, and a quarterback in Trey Lance, who he drafted 3rd overall and gave up 3 first-round picks to go get. He chose Purdy, even though the sample size was small, because of him playing well in those 8 games, and chose Purdy over a guy, again, that got into the big game in Jimmy G, and a guy that he put a lot of capital in draft-wise in Trey Lance to go get and only saw 4 games of. We can't sit here and say Trey Lance is a bust because we've not seen him play. Guy started 4 games. I'm sorry, 4 games is not enough to call someone a bust. Trey Lance could stink. We just haven't seen enough. But still, for Kyle Shanahan, he saw enough, and part of it's him riding the hot hand of Brock Purdy to say, you know what? Yeah, I got a quarterback I've gone to the Super Bowl with. Yeah, I got another quarterback that a few years ago in the draft I believed highly in. But forget that. This guy played well the last 2 months of the season. We're going to ride with Brock Purdy. We're going to give Purdy the reins here, and we're going to, we're going to let it ride and see where it goes. So why should I believe that Brock Purdy is not immune to the same judgment that Jimmy G and Trey Lance got? That's why, to me, look at Sam Darnold. If he plays well on Sunday, I don't see Sam Darnold coming out of the starting spot anytime soon. Kyle Shanahan has notoriously ridden the hot hand. If we see Sam Darnold carve up, again, they've not played great, but on paper and historically, in the last few years, we've seen this Bengals defense play really well. He goes out there, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, and gets this 49ers offense that's been in a rut the last 2 weeks back on track, you really telling me that Sam Darnold is not going to be playing going forward? You really tell me that Shanahan, who has always ridden the hot hand and does not care about what you've done in the past, only cares about what you do right now, you're really going to tell me that he's automatically going to give the reins back over to Brock Purdy? I don't believe it, because that's not what we've seen from Kyle Shanahan. Again, look at how Brock Purdy got the starting job. He got it because of injury, and then even though he started only 8 games going into this season, he got the job over Jimmy G, who again went to a Super Bowl, and over Trey Lance, who was drafted 3rd overall because of what Brock Purdy did down the stretch. That small sample size, Kyle Shanahan rides the hot hand going forward here. That's his prerogative. That's what he wants to do. And so if Sam Darnold plays well, I don't see Kyle Shanahan pulling him. I don't see Kyle Shanahan going, well, it's Purdy's job, so we're just going to give it back to him, even though Sam looks tremendous in this offense. And you want to know why Kyle Shanahan rides the hot hand? Why he plays musical chairs with his quarterbacks and seemingly doesn't care? It's because he knows the truth. The 49ers' offensive success doesn't start with the quarterback. It starts with him, Shanahan, the play caller, the schemer. It starts with the offensive weapons around the quarterback, the tremendous offensive line, the elite run game, the solid skill talent in George Kittle and Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. You add all that up, the quarterback that's asked to do the least amount in the NFL plays for the San Francisco 49ers. Look, I'm a Brock Purdy fan. I'm a believer in Brock Purdy. But with that said, am I going to really sit here and tell you that he's this great quarterback? That a lot of his success and the 49ers' success is because of him? I can't do that. That's foolish. A lot of Brock Purdy's success is because Kyle Shanahan is I was going to say evil genius, but it's not really evil. He's calling plays. He's a mad scientist when it comes to offensive game plans, offensive schemes, and play calling. He has the best running back in the NFL in Christian McCaffrey. He has arguably the best offensive line in the NFL protecting for him. He has tremendous weapons to throw the ball to in George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, who both run and block really well, along with, being threats in the passing game as well. You have so much to work with that it does not take a lot of talent for any quarterback, but especially Purdy, to run this offense at a high level. All he is doing is just running the offense the way it was built to be run. That's it. It's not rocket science. He's not Patrick Mahomes running out there, flying to his left, throwing across his body, making all these miracle plays. It's the offense. It's a system. So if the 49ers have built an offensive system that is almost foolproof, why should I sit here and believe that Sam Darnold can have the same success that Brock Purdy did? I think he absolutely can. Forget your preconceived notions with Sam Darnold. Forget about the Jets' tenure. Forget about the Panthers' tenure. Look at Sam Darnold and his success in San Francisco going forward here through the eyes of previous quarterbacks. Because it's impossible for Sam Darnold to fail right now in San Francisco. Look at every major quarterback that Shanahan has coached right now at the 49ers during his time. He has had, in no order, Nick Mullins, who was his first quarterback, started 16 games over 2 years for the 49ers. Nick Mullins, in NFL history, has the second most passing yards behind only Patrick Mahomes through a quarterback's first 16 games of his career. Those were under Kyle Shanahan. He made history with Nick Mullins, who was a career backup quarterback. He took Jimmy Garoppolo and got to a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo, along with 2 NFC title appearances in 3 years. And Jimmy Garoppolo, for his career, 95% of his starts came in San Francisco, a few in Vegas, and a few in New England. But 95% of his starts came as the 49ers starting quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo, for his career, has won 70% of his games. Do you know where that ranks in NFL history? 7th! 7th! Jimmy Garoppolo is the 7th most winning quarterback in NFL history. with 95% of those starts coming under Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. So you look at Jimmy G, one of the winningest quarterbacks in NFL history under Kyle Shanahan. Nick Mullins, a career and journeyman backup in the NFL, who through his first 16 career games has the second most passing yards in NFL history. And Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, coming in right now through his career, through the first 14 starts, is 12-2 and has thrown 2 touchdown passes in 10 of those 14 starts. Every single quarterback has come in unheralded. Excuse me, I can't even say that word. Jeez, I don't know why I try to say it twice. You get my point there. They've come in without a lot of fanfare, come in with not a lot of belief, and have flat out produced. Have been high-level quarterbacks. So if Brock Purdy can't play on Sunday and Sam Darnold comes in, why should I think he won't have success as a 49er starting quarterback? I absolutely think he will. Because every quarterback under Kyle Shanahan has had high levels of success. Nick Mullins, Jimmy Garoppolo, now Brock Purdy. And what we've seen from Kyle Shanahan is that every quarterback has success, but he's also a guy that rides a hot hand. So if Sam Darnold comes in, lights up this Bengals defense, 275, 290, hell, 300 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and gets this offense back on track after a 2-game slump, there is no reason to believe that he's going to automatically go back to Brock Purdy. That's not who Kyle Shanahan is. He is a guy who rides a hot hand, and until a quarterback fizzles out, we'll keep on believing in him. And that's why for me, if Sam Darnold plays well on Sunday, he's not giving up the job anytime soon. He can absolutely supplant Brock Purdy as the starting quarterback of the 49ers moving forward here. This is a major opportunity for Sam Darnold, and an opportunity I think he's going to cash in on.